Okay, alright, here we are. We're going to do our timing belt replacement on the 2001 Honda Accord 4-cylinder. You want to start off by draining the coolant and removing the accessory belts. You can click on the link on the screen to see how to do those, and then we're going to take it from there. Next, I'm going to unbolt the power steering pump here and push it off to the side so we get more room to work with. Then, we'll see what happens next. So another thing we need to get out of the way is the valve cover. So we gotta pop out our spark plug wires. And there we go. So you get those out of the way. Let's see, then we want to disconnect these hoses here. See, this one is the PCV valve here. This is another ventilation hose here. There we go. Actually, the PCV can just come out. Don't even need to remove that clamp. And then we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 10mm head bolts holding the cover on. Okay, I think we got them all loose now. Oh, this one's not quite. Oh, there we go. Can I sit him here? It's a little woolly. Alright, so we gotta get this sucker off. A little prying action. Okay, so I'm just gonna carefully pry on it. There we go. Don't want to damage the sealing surface or anything. Let's see. Alright, so we got our valve cover off. Oh, I'm going to get rid of our gasket, of course. We're going to put a new one. Alright. Then, let's see, I'm just moving that power steering pump out of the way a little bit. And the wiring is unclipped because we got to take the cover out. Thank you. And then, let's see, the dipstick is going to be in the way. So, just going to unbolt it right there. Alright, to access the bottom of the engine here, this cover we're going to remove, and there's just some plastic clips holding in. There's one up here, one on the side, one down here that joins it to the fender liner, and then there's a few of them that run across the front connecting it to the bumper. We're going to take all those out and just get rid of the whole cover so we have more room. Alright, so we're supporting, we have the rubber pad to protect the oil pan, and we're using the jack to support the engine down below so we can take off the engine mount to access the timing belt area. Okay, so we're going to take this engine mount bracket out, and let's see, there's a 17mm nut, 17mm bolt, another 17mm nut, and then this little 10mm ground wire here. Okay, so I'm just using a breaker bar and a 17mm deep socket. Okay. Yeah, there you go. This thing is like a retainer that holds it. Okay, so we also have a 12 millimeter, because there's a little bracket for some reason that they put on there, like some little retainer piece. There we go. Loosen it. Ah. Okay, so we're removing the 10 millimeter little bolts that hold the plastic cover over the timing belt. Let's see. There you go. Oh, there we go. Just tight in place. There we go. Okay, so here's our crank pulley. This is a 19 millimeter head on this crankshaft bolt, and I'm just rotating the engine until we get to line up the timing mark at top dead center, and the cam gear, it will be facing up. There's a little mark on it that actually says up, and we'll see that in a second. Let's see where we at. Gotta keep going. Oh, and we're rotating counterclockwise because this engine spins that direction. I want to rotate the engine backwards. Okay, so I'm just marking the teeth that are in line with the up mark, just so for a little extra insurance, so we can make sure that we get the new belt just in the right place. Okay, when you're looking for the top dead center mark, there's this white little notch on the crank pulley, and you need to look through this notch right here on the plastic cover and line up the plastic pointer with the little white mark. And when you look down that way, it should all line up. Okay, one little detail that you have to pay attention to is this little clip that's locked into the lower timing belt cover. It's a little squeeze clip, or whatever you want to call it. It just squeezes in and releases from the hole. It's hard to see though because it's mounted this way, and you got to go in from the back. If you have like a handy little mirror, you can go in the back and see, and then you can use pliers, or maybe, what do we use, pocket screwdriver, something like that, to push on it and from the back and then pop it out. And then it also needs to unclip from here. Oh, yeah, a little hook like this. You can put it in from the back and pull on it and get it to pop out. So now we're going to take out the crank pulley. Alright, so this is, as we mentioned, is a 19 millimeter head bolt. Hopefully this gun will be powerful enough to get it off. Otherwise we're going to have to bring out the breaker bars and stuff. Let's see. Ooh. It's going to be breaker bar time. Okay, so this is our setup to brace the pulley with the chain whip. The chain wraps around in this direction and locks into the bar up here, and then because it digs in with some metal teeth on this surface here, we shoved actually a piece of an old timing belt to protect the pulley, and then we're going to use our big breaker bar to get that bolt loose. Oh yeah, there we go. Dude. Alright. Yeah, let's do it plastic. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's loose. Okay, so here, the impact gun wasn't enough to get the bolt out of the crankshaft because it was in there really tight. And so we used this chain whip here, wrapped it around the front of the pulley. That's where the power steering belt goes. and it digs in there with some teeth. Hopefully we didn't mark it up too bad, but then I used the 3/4 breaker down below to pop that bolt loose, and it took a lot of force. So let's see, now we're gonna get it out of there. It's broken loose. Yeah, basically it's just braced on this right here, because you have to kick it so hard that it's hard for somebody to push against that force. Alright, now that we got it broken loose, hopefully our trusty gun will do the rest. There we go. Big old bolt. Alright, man. We do have to make sure it's rotated back to top dead center. Okay, so once you have your bolt out, we're gonna remove the pulley. You can see it's loose, but you gotta watch out not to lose that little key right there, because that's what holds the crankshaft aligned where it's supposed to be. So it's actually, oh, there's the key. Oh, it's a big one. So, and you notice that it has this tapered off end that went inward. So make sure you put it back in the right position. Okay. Well, now we gotta take the plastic cover off, and we'll get to the belts. Ooh, there we go. Probably not all of them are gonna be this easy. Yeah. These are those cover bolts. Okay, so this one 10mm cover bolt is kind of a pain back here. Okay, so there's two of these hidden bolts that are on the upper portion of the lower cover. There was the one in the back here, which is going to be fun for you to reach, and then there's another one way up in here that you can't even see, but you can feel it. It's right behind this bracket that holds the alternator. But yeah, it's tucked right in there. You're just going to have to feel your way getting it out. Oh yeah, there we go. Finally. Oh, and it was corroded to make it even worse. Alright. Corrosion for your convenience. Oh, what happened? Alright, now the cover's coming. Cut! Cut! Alright, so you got a bunch of stuff that needs to line up. And you already know about, there's the up mark on the camshaft right here. And that basically is supposed to be even with the tilt of the engine. And then down here, this balancer shaft has a notch in it that needs to line up with that little marker right there. Then down below, if you look over here, there's a notch on this pulley that lines up with another marker down in the back here. So, and then there's going to be another mark behind here for the crankshaft. And all those need to line up simultaneously. Alright, so now we're going to loosen the tensioner bearings here. And this is a 14mm head. And I'm just going to link another wrench to it so you can get more, there we go, more torque on it, more leverage. There you go. Oh, so nice. Well, we gotta get the tension off of these things. See, so there's two springs to undo. There's one for each of the belts. I'm just gonna reuse the springs. There we go. There's one over here on this end. There's another one over in the back here, behind the timing belt. Some pliers would probably be helpful in this one. Alright, so I'm just sliding off the balancer shaft crankshaft gear, and we'll set that aside, and then we can remove the belt, take that off, try to keep everything in alignment, set that aside. Alright then, oh yeah, we wanted to, for our extra insurance, do our paint pen markings. Let's see. So yeah, this gear moves. There we go. This gear moves because it doesn't have its key in there, but we can still mark it. There we go. And then we can take off the timing belt. Whee. Alright, belt's out, and then we're going to replace the bearings here. So we'll take these out as well. There's a little 10mm bolt right here. There should be another one here, but it's missing for some reason. Yeah. There we go. And we want to save this bracket because I believe we need to reuse that. There we go. Together. Then we can undo this 14mm head bolt here. Take out the bearings. Oh, actually it is a nut. There we go. Slide this off. Okay. And there's a washer there. You can see how this is going to go back together. So we'll save this washer, reuse that. And we'll get rid of this bearing. And then take off our other bearing with a spring, which just got stuck. There we go. Alright, we're going to reuse the spring too. Okay, everything is out. Oh, except the water pump. Now we gotta do that. Yeah, pull that sucker off. Oh, and then there's also remaining rubber seals stuck in there. Another one of those for the plastic cover. And let's see, time to undo the water pump. Oh, we gotta get ready, it's gonna gush. We gotta get our coolant pan back over here. Okay, so here's the new water pump, just so you can refer and see where you have to remove the bolts. You can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 here. So this is a long one here that the spring anchors on. And then let's see, I think that should be it. Yeah. Alright, so and this one here is what the plastic cover should be bolting into. So that you don't need to worry about right now. So let's go remove the water pump. Okay, so I'm just using a long handle 10mm to get some extra leverage. There you go. Take this one out. So there's not room to get a deep socket in there really. Unless maybe you got just the right one. And this is awkward. There we go. Alright, there's that special long bolt there. See, we should have a little separate pile for our water pump bolts. And the leaves here. Let's see. So some of these are going to be, well, all of these are going to be kind of awkward. Oops. That didn't work. No. Oh, I can get along. There we go. Alright, that one's loose. Oh, it's probably for the Giants game. Yeah, it is. Okay.
Like sleep alarm.
Yeah, it's very relaxing. You wake up feeling relaxed. Alright, now if I can only see where I'm going next. There's one. see. For this one bolt on the upper part of the water pump, there's actually a hole to go through in this engine mount bracket, and you can just send your deep socket through the hole, and which is down right here, and you just kind of have to feel your way in there, and it lines right up with the bolt, and you can loosen it and take it out. I gotta be careful not to drop this one. You know, yeah, yes. Doesn't be harder. It's like the ones on top, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this one. Alright. So we got all of them out. And now we're just gonna pry it off and get our coolant pan. I can't see what I'm doing. Oh, there it goes. Holy crap. That's a gusher. Alright, so the top of the water pump is it's tucked right under the plastic cover that goes behind the cam gear. So you just gotta pull it from under there. And I don't know why this is not coming out, but it's catching on something. There we go. This water pump is kind of awkward. Should we just go down? Maybe we should go down. What the heck? Everywhere you go, there's something in the way. I don't know if I go around this way. Huh. There's bolts in the way. There's mounts in the way. This is horrible. How did I even get here? Oh, here we go. Oh no. This one's working. Oh, there we go. I'll just leave it there. It's relocated. What the heck? Is this for the blooper section? Oh, there we go. I'm gonna go that way? Maybe. Oh, maybe it didn't hit the frame. Oh, this is so not a Honda Civic. Dude, I don't even know how you're supposed to get this out of here. It just runs into everything.
It's like an awkward crab walking sideways.
Like if this mount wasn't here, it would come right out.
You want to take that mount?
Ah, what the hell? I know that there's just something I'm doing wrong. See, look, it just hits everything. What the hell? Oh, there you go. So I flipped it over. And then slid it out sideways. Alright, so for better view for myself and for the video, we took out this mount right here. There's 1, 2, 3, one in the back. There's 3 bolts with 14mm heads on them. I just used a ratchet to get them loose. They were fairly tight, but not too bad. So now we got good access, because I don't know, are we including that comical water pump removal portion? That was pretty bad. But anyways, okay, so we need to put our water pump into place. Oh, it already came from with the gasket put into the groove, as you can see there. That's the way it came straight out of the package. Let's see. There we go. So yeah, it goes up under this cover and it just sets right into place. Now we just gotta line up some bolts. Hopefully figure out where they go. It seems like it's so nice, but then it doesn't line up. think it needs to go over. Did I get anything? I'm sure if I get one, the rest will be easy. Oh my god. The fun continues. Oh, there we go. I think I got one. Okay, finally got one lined up. Now the rest should get better. Okay. Seems like once you get one, then it sets it into place. Oh, this one might be easier down here. There it is. Yeah, that one's easier from the bottom for sure. Okay. And then our long bolt. Ooh, it's nice hot. Okay, now we can just tighten them all down. The engine's so clean. I like it. Go underneath. Okay. I'm just going around and basically snugging them till you feel them stop, till you feel that that rubber gasket's compressed. And I'll go around and give them a final torquing. Ooh, there we go. Okay, so 5 bolts, torque them down. The bottom one. Alright, that's good for the water pump. Here we're going to put in our timing belt tensioner bearing and line it up with that peg right there. See, there's a little peg sticking out. It needs to go right there. We go, like that. And then we'll put our little retaining bolt in. A little 10mm head bolt that goes in that hole. And the slotted part slides up in and out of there. And okay, then we got our spring. Can hook the spring in and then grabbing it with some pliers is a pretty good way to get a hook back on the peg. Oops. Nope, what happened there? There we go. Yeah, see now it's hooked on. And you can see it pulled the bearing up. So that's how it tensions there, or it holds the tension before you tighten down the bearing. Okay, so we go and put the belt in. It's gotta go around the water pump. The water pump doesn't have to be lined up any special way. But definitely the crankshaft and the cam do. Okay. So we have to actually, I would probably like it better if the spring was disconnected here. I think we can just hook that back up later. There we go, just set it in there. That way it's not holding tension on the belt, making it difficult to slide into place. Okay. There we go. Alright, so we got our belt in place. And then we gotta put some tension on it and make sure that everything is good. Make sure everything still lines up. There we go. You see the slack came out of it there. Alright, but are we still lined up? Let's see. Oh, I think we're good. Yeah. So see, on this side we had it pretty tight when we first set up the belt, and then on this side, which doesn't matter, the water pump pulley can rotate, and our tensioner pulled up, took the slack out of it from this side, so everything stayed lined up. So now we can do the balancer shaft belt, and bearing. Okay, so this is the extra insurance step that we're taking. On the old belt, I marked 2 teeth on the cam side and 1 on the crank side. Actually, this is the old belt. Oops, my mistake. But yeah, this is the old one. So this is where it goes into the, lines up with the crankshaft. So I counted from here to here. It was 49 teeth. So starting with this one, 49 to that one, and marked it. Now we'll put it back in and we'll know for sure that it's lined up right. So you can see I got the 2 teeth marked, and then I marked the 1 in the middle, so I know that this goes right around that tooth. And then down the bottom did the opposite. You can see right here I marked the 1 tooth on the belt and the 2 teeth on the gear, so I know it goes right in between. And now we know for sure that it's lined up perfect. Alright, now we're doing the balancer shaft belt portion. Let's see, so you want to get so the camera can see. You want to get this side facing out. This part goes deep into the other bearing, and then we put our bracket on. This is the bracket that causes it to tension, or aids in the tensioning setup. And let's see, so we're going to put in the bolt that holds the bracket. If I can see what I'm doing. There we go. Okay, so there's that. Then we're gonna, the spring hooks into it. It's not gonna be tight yet, but eventually will be. Oops. Whoa. There we go. Okay. Dog. Stupid. Avoiding the camera causes for awkward positioning. Alright, there we go. So just set that on there. And then we'll get tensioned up in a little bit. And then we don't want to forget our washer. There it goes there. And then the nut that goes on last. I don't want to put that too tight. Okay. So, see, this has the movement in it, so we can tension our balancer belt. Alright, so this one here, that notch needs to line up with that pointer there. And then there's another one down below. This one, let's see, this one here, oh, it's out of place. This notch lines up with one back here, and now we just got to get the belt on there and hope it doesn't all move out of place. Oh, and then we got to put our gear, of course. Let's see. We can.
Make sure your key's in there too.
Yeah, make sure you don't lose this key, and make sure you have it facing in the right way. It only goes in one way, so there we go. But yeah, we can show the key. It'll come out. Where's the plier? There we go. So the key has that tapered end, which needs to go in toward the motor and facing down like that. There we go. And that lines the gears up down on the bottom so they stay in the appropriate position. There we go. Oh. Oops, damn it. Moved everything. Yeah. Alright, so on the balancing belt, we have on this pulley here, you can see there's a little pointer and there's a little notch right there, so that needs to line up. And then over on the other side, we got this notch that lines up with this pointer. So line up the notches with the little pointer on both of them, and then tension on the bearing, and then of course the pulley down below lines itself up with the key, and then you should be good to go. Then we're gonna go ahead and tighten this one down and lock everything in place, and then just tighten the little bolts there, which aren't that significant, but they do hold everything in place, so those are nice. Okay, so I'm just putting in the pulley temporarily so I can put the bolt in and rotate the engine. Make sure that the belts are lined up and all the slack is out of them. And then we can do the torquing of the tensioner bearings, the nut that holds them down. Alright. Alright. Now, you're gonna run into, well, we didn't remove any spark plugs, so it's gonna have resistance in it from the compression, but that's okay. You can just keep cranking it. It would be nice if we had the plugs out. Have we gone around? How much have we gone around? Oh, no, only went one turn. The belts look like they're snug. Oh, the cover's not there, but yeah, it's about there. Okay. Yeah, you just have to push on it a little bit. And we tighten it. Well, this one feels, yeah, this one feels good. And this one will just push on it a little. There we go, then we'll torque it down. Yeah, it feels good. Okay, so we got good tension. This bearing is coming up, tensioning the timing belt. Then we got tension. We push down on this one, we can add tension to the balancer belt. So everything looks good. So we're going to lock it down. Just holding a little more tension on the balancer belt to make sure it's not loose at all. Alright, so we're going to torque this sucker down. It was on there pretty tight when we took it out. There we go. Alright, so belt's snug. Don't have any bad slack anywhere. So we're locked down. Then we're just going to tighten the little bracket bolts, those little 10mm ones right there. And then start putting things back together. Alright, so now we're putting this engine mount bracket back in with the 3 bolts that mount it. And they're all different sizes, so make sure you know which goes where. The shortest one's in the bottom. The longest one goes on the right. And then the longest one goes on the left. There we go. That's how it goes. Alright, I got my 5 bolts in the lower cover. There's 2 more up above that, of course, are fun. Then we can put our crank pulley in. It lines up on the key. And put in the bolt. And then, of course, you want to torque that down. Okay, and then on the tensioner bearing bolt right here, there was a rubber seal. So we're going to pop that back into place. If it'll ever go back. So this has got to go in that groove right there. Probably a little WD-40 would help. There we go. Is it in? It's getting in. There we go. There we go. I feel it squishing into the groove. Alright. Yeah, WD-40 is key for this thing. Alright, now I'm putting the top cover on, which you gotta make sure, of course it goes behind that stud and all this wiring doesn't get caught up in it. And then there's a groove that you can follow that lines up in over on this side. And then once you have it in that groove, then you should be good. You just gotta put in your 2 bolts. Alright, one here, and the other one here. And then just tighten those down, and we'll continue on to the next step. Alright, then after you get the top cover tightened down, you can pop the dipstick back in. Just slides down into the hole and seals with an O-ring in there. If I can get it to line up. There we go. And then you feel it pop into place. And now the bracket lines up with the hole right here. Put in your little bolt and tighten it down. Alright, don't forget to put this, whatever this is here. I think it's a vibration dampener or something like that. And then we're putting our mount back into place. And then watch out for this bracket here that has that's supposed to slide back into position. Twist it around. So just twist it around clockwise. And then we can tighten this all. Oh, of course we need our hardware. Put on the nut, the bolt, the other nut, which, oh, there it is. Alright, so we'll torque all these down, tighten this one, hook up our ground cable right there, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, alright, so now we got our cover on, our mount back, dipstick in, and then we're going to go ahead and mount the power steering pump back in place.
It's not that one, it's the lower one.
Oh, yeah, that hole is way too small. I hope I'm using the right bolt. There's 2 different bolts. Yeah. Now this one, they put the big washer on the one where it swivels and holds the tension. Oh yeah, we need some pry bar action coming up. A little more. Okay. Then we gotta get the bottom one. Alright, so the other one goes in from the back. Somewhere. Ah, I see it. Go in your home. There we go. Alright, so I'm just cleaning up the mating surface where the valve cover gasket is going to rest against the head. Just want to make sure we get a nice good seal. Get rid of all the oil and dirt. And then when we go to put it on, we're going to put FIPG in the little corner spots because those are the areas that are likely to leak. And we don't want that. Alright, so we're putting a little of this RTV stuff into the corners. Just squeeze a little dab in there on each side and on both ends. There we go. Yeah, it might be hard to get in there. Squish it with my finger. There we go. Okay, looks good. So now we can pop our cover in. gasket set into the groove. Make sure it's in there nice and even all the way around. I'm going to set it in place here. There we go. Alright, now we'll just tighten down our bolts all the way around. And then we'll put our spark plugs back in place, or our wires, and then we'll be done with this part. Alright, then I'm gonna pop the spark plug wires back in, get them into their little support brackets here. And then don't forget to connect your hoses in the back. Here we go. PCV valve. You'll need a little plier action there. There we go. There we go. Alright, ooh, piece of glove. Alright, so this is about, well, we're basically wrapping it up for the timing belt video. You want to, of course, finish off by putting on your belts, which we have a video for that. It's also a good idea when you're doing the water pump, doing the thermostat as well, which is on the other side of the engine. We're making a video for that. And of course you want to fill up your coolant and bleed out the system. And did I miss anything? I think that's about it.